Hey, it's Mike Brennan. We're doing a special edition of 420 Post. I'm with Jacob Sworski, the managing partner of Iconic Real Estate. And one of the things that Jacob does is specializes in cannabis real estate. And as you know, that's an exploding market. Something in the neighborhood of 400 provisional licenses have been issued. Of course, not that many centers are open yet. It takes a lot of time, a lot of money too. And it takes really a great location, or at least to be successful, it does. So let's talk a little bit about that, Jacob. When you're searching for a grow facility location, what should the owner be looking for?
Well, I think the owner should ultimately know as far as what size of facility they're looking for, first and foremost. So if you're looking for a 5,000 square facility, there's no reason why you should be looking at a 30 plus. When you do locate a facility within the right zoning that fits the criteria of the municipality, the main thing is obviously the standard, which is the roof. And the second very important component is the amount of power the property has. Power can be a lot of times challenging and expensive in order to pull additional power to the building. So you want to, during your due diligence period, you want to be able to identify how much power the facility actually has and how much money, how much more is potentially available to it.
Okay. So any other special considerations, legal issues you need to deal with right up front?
Well, obviously, standard due diligence is make sure the property works based on the code and based on the ordinances that the city has drafted. So that's the number one component. Secondly, is you want to be able to see if the property works with respect to how you operate, because not everyone cultivates and grows cannabis the same way. A lot of people have different ways. Whether they do a stacking plan or whatnot. You want to be able to lay out and see if the current layout and the size of the property works.
Okay. And is it best to rent or buy?
Well, that's a loaded question. I think it really depends on your financial situation and capital, because these facilities do take a substantial capital to get it up and running. It's not just a matter of buying a building. You have to obviously build it out. Whether it's providing additional power or not, it does take a substantial capital. So. A lot of times, if you're new to the business, you have limited capital, might be a better idea to rent a smaller facility, get it up and running, make it established, preserve some of that capital, and then identify a bigger facility where you're in a better position to actually purchase it for a long-term growth.
Would they purchase lease, or will they purchase the building and then they lease it back to them for the various write-offs and things? Is that something you would ask folks to consider?
Absolutely. If that property works long-term for you, meaning if you're going to outgrow that property within 2-3 years, then most likely, the likelihood of you wanting to own it might not be in your business plan. However, if you can still utilize it and it fits your growth potential long term, then absolutely that's one of the options that we would work on.
Okay. And how do appraisals for cannabis use differ from, say, normal appraisals?
Well, appraisals really are non-existent in the cannabis world because there's no financing there. You can't get traditional financing for cannabis transactions yet. Therefore, the standard appraisal is almost a moot point because the supply and demand really sets the pricing and the market for cannabis. As much as we can look at previous sales and kind of guide and whether or not someone is paying a premium or not, that's really our job to determine as brokers and guide our clients with respect to pricing. So we typically do not I've never gotten an appraisal on a cannabis property because, obviously those properties ultimately do come and sell at a premium because of the zoning.
Okay. And are cannabis real estate transactions part of the public record?
They are, and they're becoming more and more so. A lot of, the history of cannabis transactions, a lot of those have been kind of, under the radar and not readily made public record of. But I think as the industry is obviously exploding and growing, and I hope it will continue with the new administration, all the transactions will become more of a public record and readily available.
And let's one last question: the future of commercial real estate with respect to cannabis. How do you see that evolving, say, over the next 5 years?
I think it's just going to do nothing but keep going and exploding. Again, especially with the new administration taking over, they're very pro cannabis. I think more and more states and cities, municipalities are going rec, which only drives and creates more opportunities for property owners, for current groups that are in the market, and newcomers that want to get into the industry. So I think it's only going to continue to grow through to 2021 and the next 5 years.
Now that we've got all this great information, Jacob, how can folks reach out to you? Do you have a website and a phone number, email, that sort of thing? What do you have?
Yeah, we're on all the social media channels: Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook. You can visit us on our website, iconicrealestate.com, or call us directly at 313-603-4266.
All right. Thanks, Jacob Sworski from Iconic Real Estate. This is Mike Brennan. You've been watching a special 420 Post.